Was was I wrong?
I want some nasty. Are we having fun yet?
This is insane. I might have been wrong on a take. I I have a take that might have been wrong. I can't believe it. I can't. I don't know what I'm doing. Listen, guys. So we're gonna talk about Devin Vassell. I came across this Reddit thread, and I know it's Reddit. Don't read Reddit. Reddit's wild. But I did just want to go and peep in because I haven't been over at Reddit like forever. Okay, no, I haven't been on Reddit for like a year. But I did want to just come over here and see, what is Spurs Reddit talking about at least. I often come over to NBA discussions and see what they have to say about the Spurs because it's very good objective takes. But I'm rarely over at NBA Spurs Reddit, like ever. But I did want to see, and this was one of the topics, buying this take on Devin Vassell making a huge leap. And I went over to the article, and I have to say it's a very compelling argument for Devin Vassell. As you guys know, what I've always said about Devin Vassell is that he's a solid player. He's one of those players that he can give you 20 points and you don't even know where it came from because it's from the line. It's some really good catch and shoot. He just knows how to score, and he doesn't necessarily jump off the page. Even the eye test, he doesn't necessarily jump off the page. Now, every now and then, he has some posters where you sit back like, oh my God, that was amazing. But for the most part, when I watch Devin Vassell, I'm not underwhelmed by any means. I just sit back and I'm saying, you know what? That's a solid player. That is a good piece going forward. I'm happy that we have Devin Vassell, but I never go as far as a lot of other Spurs fans to say that Devin Vassell is going to be a star. I personally don't see it, but I could be wrong. Okay, I totally could be wrong. And as far as his offensive game, I think it is better or more solid than Keldon Johnson's, even though overall I think Keldon kind of is a better player right now. I know that's a weird take, but it just is what it is. But let me go through this briefly. I'm not going to go through every single point because this is a pretty lengthy article for the most part, but they go through different aspects of his game. And I think that I probably should have contextualized him just a little bit better. So they kind of talk about how good of a catch and shooter he is, which we all know this. Like, he lit the Pelicans up. Like, he destroyed the Pelicans in the play-in. Obviously we lost, but he destroyed them, and he was actually the only one that showed up. Mind you, he's also one of the only lottery picks on the team that people don't talk about, but he did do a very good job. But one thing that I've always seen from him is like, okay, he's solid, he's a good catch and shooter, but I didn't really necessarily see the playmaking ability, which he doesn't really have to have, but the shot creating ability. That's the main thing where I sit back and I'm like, that's kind of what's stopping me from saying he's going to be like a star is the creating space. He doesn't have a lot in his arsenal. And just going through this, they kind of brush on that briefly. I'll leave this article underneath, by the way, because this is a lot to go through. I'm not going to go through every single thing that they state. But they went through everything. They went through his catch and shoot ability. They went through his pull-ups, and they also went through his defense. And obviously, we all know that he's kind of known for being a two-way. But yeah, they just talk about how well and effortlessly he kind of puts the ball up over defenders, and how if he can develop a really good mid-range game, he could be something serious. Now, what really caught my eye, not only this, because this is a brilliant article, and like I said, I am going to leave the link below for it, but was this Reddit explanation right here on this, and I won't read the whole thing, but I will say that this is pretty compelling. It made me sit back and say, you know what, I could be wrong on Devin Vassell. But yeah, anyways, besides the point, just read it. There's a reason a whole lot of very well regarded analysts and basketball talking heads are high on Devin and have been since he entered the draft process. He has a relatively innate ability to be able to get his shot off even the large amounts of defensive pressure. And I actually saw that in a different video as well. It was someone who, I don't even believe they were a Spurs fan. I can't even remember what video it was, but I did see a video in which someone was talking about that. Like, Devin Vassell, he doesn't need a lot of room, which is true. I've always seen that. Like, that is true. But at the same time, I was like, but creating that room is where I really want to see Devin Vassell thrive. Because yes, you can shoot contested shots all the time, but that'll never equate to being able to shoot get yourself open and shoot, right? Like that's just how I feel about it. What makes this particularly, oh my God, intriguing and something that caught people off guard his second year at Florida State and was primarily responsible for his sudden right is his ability to do it despite having a relatively simplistic ball handling game and very few go-to moves in his arsenal. His length, really nice release point, and very smooth functional athleticism makes him a difficult guy to contest, particularly, oh my God, when he pulls up in the mid-range, which I actually do agree with. And I didn't really look at it this way. It's like, I guess Devin Vassell's been with us for a little bit. I guess it hasn't been long, but it's been a little bit. And I've always just saw it as, yeah, he has a simple basketball game. He's solid, but maybe, just maybe, he can kind of bring that to the next level. And if he did, theoretically, yeah, I can see it that you guys are talking about. It's just everything that I've seen thus far. It's like, I don't know. I don't know. But moving on. With the entire year to work on his ball handling and his shot creation, there's a very good chance he will be able to add the needed skill set to fully take advantage of this unique part of his game. The league is filled with talented shooters, ball handlers, and some that can do both, who still struggle as one-on-one scoring options due to lack of physical profile, functional athleticism that goes beyond vertically and speed, and less than ideal shooting mechanics. And this is absolutely true. And by the way, why are you not writing articles? This is really good. You should write articles. If you ever see this video, please write articles. But let me say this, okay? Let's contextualize it just a little bit. This previous season, maybe even the last couple seasons, but this previous season in particular, it was ran through DeJounte Murray. Like, no doubt about it. Every single game ran through DeJounte Murray. He had a stupid usage rate. Every single play was DJ a pick and roll with Jakob. Like every single play. Guys, do something, okay? Go back and watch DeJounte Murray's highlights. Just go back. Watch DeJounte Murray's highlights and you will see almost every single play is a pick and roll with Jakob Poeltl. And I know that seems like that's not a big deal because it's not, but it is a big deal in the sense that I think that it kind of took away from Devin Vassell a little bit. And what I mean by that is a lot of plays that I noticed during this season was DeJounte Murray would get a pick and roll with Jakob Poeltl. He would pass it to Jakob. Jakob usually doesn't make the extra pass, okay? And Devin Vassell oftentimes was open. And I saw it so many, I can't even give you how many examples, but it happened all the time where even in the end of the fourth quarters, Devin Vassell would be open or he would get hot, but he would not get the ball at the end. It was rare. Oftentimes it would be a pick and roll with Jakob once again, and DeJounte either takes the mid-range, which not a bad mid-range. He hit a lot of clutch shots, or dump it off to Jakob. But it was rare when Devin Vassell was able to completely shine. And I will say the only time this season, maybe a few times, okay, but the biggest time this season that he did shine was that play-in, in which he just kept getting fed. But there was even times in that game where I felt as if he needs to just get the ball and go to work. But it was a lot of just catch and shoots. So I don't know. Look, I'm going all over the place. What I'm trying to say is Devin Vassell, he has a crazy great shooting mechanic. He does have the fundamentals there to succeed. It's just a matter of him taking that next step when it comes to being a shot creator and creating space and being able to be the guy, right? And we haven't really been able to see that. And maybe that's not on him. Maybe that's just the Spurs. Maybe that's just the fact that we had DeJounte Murray. Maybe it's not the fact that he himself isn't ready to push himself to that next level. Maybe the team just wasn't ready for him to be in that position to show that he's on that next level. Maybe that's it. Maybe I say all that to say this. Maybe that's it. So everything that I've been saying about Devin Vassell, I'm not necessarily going to take it back because that's what I've seen. And I know a lot of people say, well, why do you see this with Josh Primo, but you don't see it with Devin Vassell? Because just eye test alone, Josh Primo has shown so much ability to shot create. It's ridiculous at times for him to be so young and be able to do that. So I see those sparks and I sit back and I'm like, okay, he is something serious. But with Devin Vassell, he's been more in a position where no matter what, he's been in a catch and shoot position. And I just don't know. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm completely wrong. And if I am, it's not like I'm gonna be upset about it. I'm gonna be happy that I'm so dumb. Like, I'm gonna be happy about it. But anyways, that's what I don't have anything else to say, anything to add to this. I want you guys to go ahead and add in the comments, what do you think? I know I babbled quite a bit. I probably need to stop doing that. I need to get better. I do it too often, but I'll get with you guys later, man. Thanks so much for the love. If you want to support the channel, only $2 per month, Patreon, YouTube links below. Until next time, deuces.